All right, well, it's time to get physical, Jarret. I want to hear your body talk, mate.
Oh well, it's alive and ticking this week, thankfully, after a good week of I'd like to say rest, but I didn't rest. I just worked through it. But I'm on the cusp of getting some time off and I'm very excited about that. And in the interim, I've got some more special feature work to finish, but we won't announce any of that. Although you lads spoke last week briefly about the Gate 2, or I should say Gate 2, because there is no the before Gate 2. Yes, I've done the commentary for that one, and I ended up getting Tibor Takash to do the commentary with me, which was amazing.
That is
Uh,
incredible.
and yeah, there's so much insight because it is a hugely undocumented sequel. Outside of a handful of articles that popped up in genre magazines when the film was in production, when it came to release, it got caught up in a big shuffle with a studio that was pretty much doing dodgy deals.
So
And
here's a question for
yeah,
you. So for years that's been one of my favorite sequels, like horror sequels.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
that movie. How did you research that one? Because there's not a lot out there on it.
There is so little out there. So that was the blessing getting Tibor involved to do the commentary with me.
Yeah.
In terms of the commentary, though, I structured it so that I could talk about the troubled production and more so release history of the film.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the major thing. And yeah, and getting the odd anecdote here and there. Like there was some stuff that I managed to get from the actors that they couldn't disclose that they were revealing because of everything that's going on in the States at the moment with
Yeah.
SAG. So there's a few things that come firsthand that I can't actually acknowledge it's from them directly, which is a shame because God knows when that's going to end. It probably won't end by the time this thing releases. But yeah, it is. It's a hugely undocumented film, and there is some really great stories that come out
Was
from
there
Tibor
was there
about it.
any tracking down of Lewis Tripp?
Oh yeah, I've spoken with Lewis. Unfortunately, and do you know that Lewis lives in Melbourne?
Are you serious? That's
Yeah,
why he's in Daniel Armstrong's fucking work.
yeah, because he actually is good friends with Sean Montague, who is Kid Crusher.
Yeah.
And yeah, they'd been in correspondence for a little bit, and he turned up at a Kid Crusher show. I think it was just pre-pandemic, maybe. And yeah, they sort of forged a bond, and then they've collaborated on tracks
That's
together. And then
that's what I
Dan
mentioned last
Armstrong's
week.
directed the videos.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I got Sean to put me in contact with Lewis, and Lewis is lovely, very intelligent guy. But unfortunately, the reason he's never been involved with any of the Gate releases is purely because he's decided that he doesn't want to contribute in a capitalistic way to the releases. He doesn't mind talking about the films, although his memories, he said, being 40 odd years on almost, are fairly vague. But yeah, he prefers not to sort of talk about them, but he's very proud of them.
Wow.
So it was a damn shame that
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because I really wanted to get him for the commentary. I would have loved to have shot an interview with him.
He'd make a
Uh,
killing at conventions.
I know, absolutely. But yeah, he's living here in Melbourne. He's been living in Australia for almost a decade now, was living in New South Wales, then moved to Melbourne probably about 7 years ago. So, and he's lived through the pandemic here. But yeah, so it's so bizarre to think that he's here in Australia. And
Well,
to put everyone's mind at ease, he's according, IMDb lists him is in Detroit Rock City, and he is 100% confirmed he is absolutely not in that movie whatsoever. He said, "Look, if I'm in it, I don't remember doing it, but I'd long left acting by the time that film had happened."
wow. Well, Lewis,
Yeah.
if this gets to you, there is a seat here at the desk. We would love to have you on the show to hang
Well,
out.
there's a very good chance because this is not done, for a capital gain sort of. There's, so there's,
Fuck no.
I will put you in touch with him and see
There's no
if
gain
he's
at all.
willing. No, exactly. You hear
I
that, sponsors?
I am curious. I'm curious because you're doing just Gate 2. You're doing Gate
Yeah,
as well.
because no, I do cover a bit of the Gate on the Gate 2 commentary, and I certainly talk to Tibor about it, mainly about things that aren't sort of discussed, really about the release and how he sort of took it because it was a surprise hit, the first film, massive surprise hit. So we do touch on that. And then there are parallels between the two films that we talk about because, I mean, they actually shot Gate 2 in the very same street they shot The Gate. And although, the house isn't quite the same, it's a neighboring property, and anyway, so there's a lot of good stuff on the track. But yeah, we do touch on the gate a little. But I mean, the gate release is stacked because it ports everything that was on the Vestron release in the States, as well as the sequel porting the very little content that was on the Scream Factory release.
Right.
I mean, I just don't understand how it doesn't get more love.
And before we move on,
sequel.
On the gate, was there any talk with Tibor about whether there was ever a Gate 3 coming?
Look, we did discuss it because there was multiple Gate projects that popped up at different points in time. He wasn't really directly involved with any of them. One of them was with Randy Cook, who was the special effects designer for both films. And at a point in time, he was working on a third film, but it kind of came and went within the space of a month. It got announced in the trades, and then he wasn't happy with the script, and then it pretty much died. Gotcha. Then, of course, we talked briefly about the Alex Winter Gate 3D project that was going to happen in Germany, and I told him that Alex Winter had actually never seen Gate 2. So that was pretty funny. There's some really good stuff too, because I share a few anecdotes with him of things that he had no awareness of related to some of what the actors have said since then. But yeah, anyway, it's all in the track. It's great. Yep. I guess I better tell you about what's coming out this week on home entertainment. Unfortunately, it is not Gate 2. That's not coming out till mid-December. So you're gonna have to wait a little longer for that one. But there is a huge release coming out this week, and pretty much this is the big release for the week. And I feel like all the other distros didn't want to go up against it because they know it's the one that's going to be taking the shelf space and consumers' dollars. And it's Barbie, and it's coming out in 4K, Blu-ray, and DVD, coming out through Roadshow from the Warner catalog. And it's a bit of a lackluster edition, in my opinion. There's only 6 featurettes on it, and I actually think this would be a film that I would like to listen to a commentary from Greta Gerwig on, and possibly with Margot Robbie. And they could even have Gosling there, Ryan Gosling, and maybe he just says very little throughout the commentary, so they can just keep him in his place. But yeah, it's a shame, and I don't see them double dipping with a fantastic special edition of this one. But look, there is a retailer out there that's getting a steelbook, so at least there is a nice deluxe 4K package.
I can't help but think too that a major chunk of the demographic after that one are not interested in many of the features.
Absolutely. I mean, but the beauty is at least it's getting a 4K, because this is a film that's going to pop in 4K with Dolby Vision. And the Dolby Atmos, again, guys, it's on the Blu-ray and it's on the 4K, so you don't need to get the 4K if you don't want that uptick in quality. You can get the Blu-ray and get that Atmos track on there. Yep. Anyway, that's the key massive release for the week.
Has anyone floated the idea of doing it in a double pack with Oppenheimer?
Yeah. Well, look, Oppenheimer that one has been announced just in the last couple of weeks. It was one of those ones that they kept under wraps for quite some time. It's coming out November 22nd. So yeah, look, let's see. Maybe they can release a double pack down the track.
Or at least do the Deadpool style slipcases where they kind of cross over.
Yeah, that would be clever. That'd be clever. I mean, one's obviously Universal, the other one's Roadshow, so probably unlikely locally, but who knows overseas?
They complemented each other. Both studios benefited from that. So
everyone won. The only one that lost was that movie Cobweb that released in the US on the same day, Lionsgate. Anyway, so the other release that's coming out this week that's worth speaking about, not a massive release, but it's from Madman. It's coming out on Blu-ray and DVD, and it's called It Lives Inside. And this is like an American-Indian co-production. It's played all the festivals. I haven't had an opportunity to check it out, but Madman did give it a wide theatrical back in September. So I'm quite keen to check it out. I'm really happy to actually doing a Blu-ray release of this one locally as well.
Yeah, I read an interview with the director of that one recently, and he's very, very much 80s horror focused, and that's where he takes a lot of his inspiration from. So could be a nostalgic little Indian infused freak show.
Yeah, well, it's got great reviews, so I'm definitely keen to check it out. The other one I do want to mention, and I only want to mention it is on the inferior format. The only reason I'm mentioning it is pretty much to tell people not to go out and buy it because they're being released. These 2 films that are being released in the double pack are being released individually a week later on Blu-ray locally. So go figure. But anyway, it's The Wraith and The Arrival are coming out in a DVD double pack from Viavision. But literally next week, they're going to be coming out individually on Blu-ray in full-fledged special edition.
So don't get too excited that these are getting released at all, because there's
don't even walk in there and see it and go, oh, I'd love to watch that this weekend. Just wait a week longer and get the nice beautiful Blu-ray release. And the Wraith release, again, is basically, a port of the US Vestron release. So it's got all the special feature content, and it is a pretty stacked release. So if you haven't got the Vestron release, definitely pick up.
Essential for any respectable collection.
Absolutely. And you can go
Any
back
fan of
to
Sherlock
one of...
fan has got to have the Wraith.
Well, absolutely.
Not Clint Howard?
No, Charlie Sheen, perhaps?
Yeah. I'm watching it for, yeah.
The only other thing I want to mention, gentlemen, is another bit of news, and it's from the Viavision front. And I don't know if this one might get a rise out of you guys or not, but Viavision are releasing a Three Ninjas quadrilogy pack in January. And I think this might be the first time globally that all 4 Three Ninja films have been combined, because we did have the triple pack in Australia, but it was Sans Three Ninjas. And when I used to work back in retail, I remember customers coming in always requesting Three Ninjas and going, we have this lovely triple pack of Three Ninjas Kickback and Three Ninjas Knuckle Up and Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain featuring Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
And they're like, no, I just want the first one. You're like, oh, no, it's not available. And that was because I think it was under global distribution from Disney for quite some time. But now, obviously, it's no longer. And it's going to be included in a quadrilogy pack. So I like the first film. Admittedly, the second one was very average, and I never followed through on the last 2, although I probably should have watched the 4th one because it's got Hulk Hogan, and I love Hulk Hogan in movies. When are we going to do the Hulk Hogan marathon?
Soon, next year.
Look, I'm all keen. I'm keen for a Hulk Hogan. We should do a Good Movie Monday special and just binge all those Hulk Hogan movies. I've got a lot of them on video. Suburban Commando.
I've got that on DVD. We can even watch it in widescreen.
I've got
I'm waiting for his new movie. Isn't his new movie like Daddy Daughter Day Trip?
Is that? Oh, I thought you were talking about the one he made with his wife.
No, he's very it's very funny when it comes to his daughter. If you look at photos and videos.
Oh, okay, that sounds uncomfortable.
Did he suck her toe? Was that the thing?
Oh, I think I do recall seeing something about that now.
And he's always got his hand on her ass and stuff like that.
Oh, that's very unusual. Very unusual.
Not for Hulk Hogan, it's not.
No, well, I guess not. But anyway, gentlemen, that's all I've got for you this week. So, as always, I'm going to count us down from 3, 2. Stay physical. But yet we still couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. Until next time, gentlemen. We'll do it next time.
Physical.